I literally put her on my wrist and it's a perfect fit. It does leave you speechless.
So he wanted to create something with the same creativity, the same level of innovation, but something much more affordable that all his friends, family could get.
Such an iconic design, the Bvlgari Serpenti, right? Well, I've sold more Serpenti that you can count. I said, well, how do you put that in a watch, right? What is the retail on this, by the way? Guys, it's no secret, I've said it numerous times, MB&F is indeed my favorite independent. I've always considered Max to be the modern day Gerald Genta. Today I wanted to do something different. I've showed you the MA.D house, I've showed you lots of MB&F watches throughout my career. I wanted to highlight the MB&F gallery, which is where we are right now. We're at the MB&F gallery in Geneva. I think the craziest thing I saw was there was an actual dried up bug the size of my head that actually had a watch movement inside of it, and I was just like, did it catch that alive, or was that not breathing when you brought that in? I'll let you introduce yourself.
Absolutely. So I'm Arnaud, in charge of communication for MB&F, the M.A.D gallery, M.A.D edition, what we now call the M.A.D Galaxy. So the M.A.D gallery stands for Mechanical Art Devices Gallery. So you'll find in there all kind of art pieces, always with the same DNA of kinetic or mechanic art.
Now, you just picked up the watch that I've been dying to see myself. I thought to myself, how does one interpret such an iconic design, the Bvlgari Serpenti, right? We also sell jewelry, so I've sold more Serpenti that you can count, right? And I said, well, how do you put that in a watch, right? You kept the DNA of HM, horological machine, right? And again, to us, horological machines are those works of art, first and foremost, and mechanical wonders at the same time.
Absolutely.
With the LM line, obviously we're getting a bit more traditional, you know, the designs were based on pocket watch designs, etc. And in my mind, and I said it right away when I saw the picture, you managed to achieve exactly that. It is sort of, I would say it's in the animal family, it's in that bulldog family, if you will.
When I first heard about this watch, I said it, how do you translate the Serpenti collection from Bvlgari jewelry collection into a watch? They knocked it out of the park. And not only that, that watch also has some automotive hints.
If you didn't tell me this was a Serpenti edition, I could tell right away.
Absolutely.
And there's such a subtle touch. Obviously the case shape is the head of the snake. Looking at the watch now in person, I am amazed.
And together they also wanted to bring some of the car elements into that piece, because at the very beginning when Fabrizio was designing that piece, he wanted to have a very long sapphire going through the entire case. And we realized quite fast that it was not possible, so he added that part in the center. It's a perfect mix between the Serpenti, the head of the snake, that is so important, so iconic for Bvlgari, and at the same time, Max and Fabrizio having fun doing some car-inspired creation, car-inspired design.
I'm usually not the one to be quiet. As you were describing it, I'm looking at the watch live, and it does leave you speechless on a lot of aspects. I did not know the car references, but now as you said it, I certainly see it. This thing sits perfect. You know, I've worn the Bulldog for quite some time, and I found, because of my smaller size wrist, at times I found adjusting it a little bit just to get a little bit more comfort level. Here, I'm doing zero adjustments. I literally put her on my wrist, and it's a perfect fit.
So M.A.D Edition is a project we started 4 years ago with the M.A.D 1. You have this vinyl record design for the main plate, then you have those two turntables for the DJ with a very cool jumping hour. So that's a module that we've engineered for that piece. So the caliber here is a La Jouperet movement, Swiss movement that we used on the M.A.D 1S already. And then our team is working on these pieces. So now we have a dedicated team for M.A.D Edition. So one engineer is just working on M.A.D 2, M.A.D 3, which is going to be by another creator. So every new M.A.D is going to be with another creator.
My honest thoughts about the M.A.D edition is I love the fact that it's completely different than from the first two. And the number one thing I've always said, and will say again, it's a great way for Max Buser and friends to put forth an affordable options for those that are a fan of the brand.
Essentially, you added another line to your lineup, right? What started as an appreciation project for clients, and you know, those watches were lotteries, and then you saw them, resell on the secondary for 3-4x their value. Also, what is the retail on this, by the way?
2,900 Swiss francs without tax.
The idea is, I've always looked at these pieces in such a way where I am able to bring the world of MB&F. I'm able to bring the world of Max Buser and his friends to someone that perhaps is not playing in a six-figure price range watch, but yet they're able to proudly wear a product that is associated with Max, the company, the friends, and everybody else.
And that's the genesis of the project. Max was always a bit frustrated that his friends, family, colleagues, employees, none of us could buy one of these MB&F watches because it was way above our budget. And so he wanted to create something with the same creativity, the same level of innovation. So coming from the MB&F team, but something much more affordable that all his friends, family could get.
But yet, at the same token, I'm looking at finishes. I'm looking at the work on the dial. I'm looking at the quality of the lugs, the case construction, and everything else. It looks a lot more expensive than a $3,000 watch.
And that's also something that is very important for us. We want the perceived value for this product to be good. Of course, not nothing. It's still 3,000 Swiss francs, but something which is much more affordable.
So I'm going to tell you a story, right? So when the M.A.D. one first came out, the secondary market blew up. I think the retail was also around that $2,000 price range, and then you started seeing them online for $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 because they were not gettable. Once you made a few more additions, the prices have come down, but still till this day they trade about 2.5x value.
Absolutely.
I'm in the business of selling watches. You know, the one watch I have never sold and will never sell is the M.A.D. one. I actually probably have 3 sitting in my office, and I will never sell them. And not because, to me, and people have offered me those watches, clients that managed to win the lottery or whatever, and they bought them and they wanted to make a profit, and they would offer them to me, and I'll tell them, sorry, I don't buy those. And they'd say, well, why don't you buy those? I said, because the whole idea behind those watches was for that timepiece to go to someone that appreciates MB&F, that appreciates Max Buser, the friends, the team, and everything else in the design that goes behind it. I can't lift myself up to be the guy to resell that watch for a profit. So I've had so far, actually as recent as 2 weeks ago, 2 of them came as part of a deal from a collector where I bought it was like 17 watches. Yeah. And guess what I did? The 2 that I got in there, I gift them to my clients. I cannot bring myself to sell that watch over retail simply due to that. And trust me, I sell plenty of watches over retail. But,
I know.
But for me, this is the one watch I could never bring myself. I said, out of respect to the man, the company, and the message behind it, this would be the one, well, now 2. Now this would be 2 watches that I would never resell. I will gift it to someone.
Thank you. Absolutely.
I will gladly do that. And you know, some of the other dealers in the gray market looked at me like, who cares? You're selling Rolex over retail. I think it's different.
It's not the same.
We're talking about a company that makes 1 million watches a year, and it's #1 selling brand, while you're talking about a family type of company that does these things for the very purpose for somebody to have the opportunity and the ability to put something like that on their wrist.
To enter that M.A.D. galaxy that I was mentioning.
Exactly.
Before.
I like that. I'm going to use that.
Galaxy.
To enter, matter of fact, next time I'm going to say to enter the M.A.D. galaxy. Listen, I am amazed. I want my guy to take much closer shots of all of these watches along with
the M.A.D. gallery.
The M.A.D. gallery that's behind you. I recognize a lot of the artists that are in there. In fact, I'm going to go see some of them.
We have some American artists as well.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Pleasure. Always a pleasure. Thank you very much.
My honest thoughts about the M.A.D. edition is I love the fact that it's completely different than from the first 2. And the #1 thing I've always said and will say again, it's a great way for Max Buser and friends to put forth an affordable options for those that are a fan of the brand. Give me your thoughts on the Serpenti release. Give me your thoughts on the new M.A.D. edition. And last but not least, I will say this. It wasn't the only thing that I saw from MB&F. I can't get into much detail because the watch is under embargo, but expect something new, fresh, something you have never seen from MB&F. Hint, hint, will be a new line. You have your HMs, you have your LMs, and then you'll have your... Stay tuned. Thanks for tuning in. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.